Hey guys! How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Today's video is going to be probably a bit of a longer one, so settle in, get a beverage, get cozy, whatever you want to do. Today I will be doing my first WIP parade. So if you are on FlossTube already, chances are you probably know what a WIP parade is, but if not, if this is a new concept to you, WIP stands for work in progress, and a WIP parade is basically where a WIP parade is essentially where floss tubers show all of their projects, just that they have going on at a time, which is usually a large number. For whatever reason, cross stitchers seem to not be satisfied with one project at a time a lot of times, so we have developed this sort of trend, I guess, where we show all of our projects in one sitting, and a lot of people really like to watch them because it shows, I guess, that stitcher's style. So I'm going to be doing one of those today because I think that's a really good way to get to know people's style. So yeah, pretty much I'm just going to go through my projects in order from oldest to newest. I am not the kind of stitcher who has tons and tons of projects, mostly just because I don't have enough space. I live in a one-bedroom apartment right now, and it's not especially large, doesn't have that much storage space, so I'm kind of limited in how many projects I can have at once. But I have a few, and then I was also going to show you some of the charts that I have that I would really like to start at some point to kind of fill that out a little bit. So yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so a few things about me before we get started. So I have been stitching for about a couple years, probably since summer of 2022, I want to say. I almost want to say it was 2021, but then I don't think I have any projects that were earlier than like May 2022, so I think it was that year. But I haven't been stitching for all that long, so basically I don't have as many projects. I think I've already mentioned this. I don't have quite as many projects as most stitchers do, just because I'm still very new to the craft, comparatively to some people. But yeah, basically I started with just kind of one of those cheap stamped cross stitch kits, like the kind that already have the like something printed on it, and then you go, it's almost like a color by numbers sort of situation, where each symbol represents a thread color, and then you kind of go through and you don't have to actually do any counting, you just kind of fill in the stitches. So that's basically how I started, and soon after that I discovered counted cross stitch for the first time, which was definitely a game changer for me because I didn't realize before I started stitching that there was so much variety to the kinds of things that you can stitch. So that was very exciting to me because I realized that you could stitch fandom things, for example. And I'm going to actually show you one of my favorite projects that I've completed. I have not completed that many things, but this one is definitely the one I'm the most proud of. So let me get that real quick. Okay, so this is my first finished piece. This is True Form. It is if you're familiar, this is a scene from Fruits Basket, which is one of my favorite animes. It has got back stitching and everything. This is on 14 count Ada. I think I just got all the supplies for this at Joann's. I don't think that the background version of this is available any longer, but yeah, I was super excited with this and how it came out. This is I think the only piece that I have that I have fully finished. But anyway, we will definitely be talking more about Fruits Basket on this channel. I won't really get into that right now, but if you're aware of what it is, it's a romance show and a fantasy show. It's just very good, and we'll get into it later. But for now, this is true form. So I have two other finished pieces to show you. And forgive me, I haven't ironed any of these things. But yeah, this is Hiragana Sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. Here, let me see if I can get it to where you can see it better. So this is I don't know if this is going to be reversed too, which is a bit unfortunate, but this is an alphabet sampler of one of the Japanese alphabets. There are actually 3 alphabets. Here, hold on. Let's see if this is any better. Is that any better? Yeah, I think that's a lot better. So there are actually 3 alphabets in the Japanese language. There's this one. There's one that's very similar that they use for loan words and foreign words, stuff like that, which I'm going to show you in a minute because I have a matching one of those. And then they also have kanji, which is... Kanji is more of, to my understanding, it's more used as parts of like full words. It's more like vocabulary, so you can't really do a sampler of it. But the other 2, hiragana and katakana, I do have samplers of. This is the katakana sampler. They're very similar, but they have some slight differences in the motifs, and obviously the letters are a bit different. But these are both by Modern Folk Embroidery. If I didn't say that already, they're both 25 count, 1/1 on Lugana. Called for colors, all that stuff. So yeah, those are my finished pieces, at least the ones that I have that I can show right now. When I do get the samplers framed, I'm probably going to frame them and put them up right next to where Toru is, which is the character in that other one that I showed you. And I think that they will complement each other pretty well. So you're going to notice a theme as we continue on from here. Once I started getting into stitching more, I quickly realized that I am very much a full coverage fan, specifically Heaven and Earth Designs. I really love Heaven and Earth Designs charts, which are all very big. So a lot of the charts that I'm going to show you are Heaven and Earth Designs, and then I have 2 that I'm currently working on, and we're going to show those kind of in order of oldest to newest, like I said. But my longest running WIP, and I'm so sorry, I'm not going to get this out of the Q-snap because it's a pain in the butt to wrestle back into the Q-snap, but this was my first big full coverage piece that I started. This is Cherry Blossom Breezes by Carla Morrow. Right now, this is about like the top middle of the piece, and I will show you what the full image looks like right here. But yeah, this is, I started at the top corner and I've got all the way to about the middle of the chart. And as you can see, I'm still in the process of getting through this next page. I'm just kind of going page by page. Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. So I'm just going page by page, and I was doing 10 by 10 blocks on this, but I've tried several different methods, and for this piece, I have eventually settled on sort of, I guess, the typewriter method, a variation of the typewriter method. I've been taking a color and starting in one block and then just kind of completing it across the row, and then moving on to the next color and just continuing like that. And if I have extra, obviously I've been parking them. So yeah, that's just kind of how I've been doing it. On this piece, I haven't been that specific about how I, or I guess consistent is the word I'm looking for. I haven't been that consistent about how I've been doing the piece. But yeah, as you can see, I've gridded this one myself. This is just 18 count Aida that I got from, I believe, Hobby Lobby. So it's actually pretty stiff, and that's partly why I don't want to take it out of the Q-snap, because it is not fun to mess with. So yeah, I'm basically just, every time I have to move the canvas, I really just, I wrestle it back in and I don't touch it again. So yeah. But this is my oldest running WIP. Let me see, when did I start this? So I started this July of 2022. And this is not that big compared to some other Heaven and Earth designs. It's even one that I have. But it is big for the average stitcher who does not stitch full coverage, I suppose. But it is possible to get this done within a few years. I should be a lot farther along on this than I am, but because I'm constantly distracted by other things, that has not happened. So we are still plugging along on this, and part of why I'm not working on it as much is just because there's so much pink, and it's just, it gets kind of tiring to stitch the same 2 or 3 colors over and over again. So we're kind of, if you've looked at the reference image of what it's supposed to look like, you can kind of see where I'm at, where it's mostly just like 3 shades of pink for several pages. So I'm sure it'll be more interesting once we get past that slog. As you can see, I had the dragon's nose come in right there, which was super exciting and fun to do. So I'm excited to work on the dragon a little bit more. But yeah, this is just very me. If you know anything about me, you know I love anything like, I mean, you've probably seen already, I showed you an anime character and some Japanese alphabets, so you probably know I'm kind of into anime and Japanese culture stuff, and so I'm a sucker for cherry blossoms. And I also like fantasy, so I also really like dragons, so this was just a no-brainer, and I couldn't help myself when I first saw it. Unfortunately, I do believe that this chart is now retired. I looked for it when I was putting together this video, and I did not see it, so that is sad. But anyway, moving on. The next project is Dark Queen of the Earth. Sorry, let me hold this up again. So I'm also not taking this out of the Q-snap right now, but this is the lower part of it. This is what it should look like when it's done. Or at least a version of it, because it is customizable in some parts, but this was a stitch along that I joined. When did I join it? September 2022 is when I started this project. So I quickly fell behind, as you can probably guess from looking at this. This is maybe part 3, I think, which is finished. I just haven't moved the Q-snap yet to start part 4. I sort of ran out of steam on this project when I saw the face. It really wasn't my favorite. But I do want to finish it since I've put this much time into it. I just would really like to actually make it worth it, I suppose. And I know that I could just, I mean, I'm just not really enjoying working on it that much. I could archive it and just UFO it and not work on it, but I don't know. I've already spent so much time on it. But anyway, this is on, I believe, but one of the called for fabrics. I think it's called Nightshade, and this is the 16 count hand-dyed Aida version from, I think it's Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's on the called for DMC and all that. I was working on this with my sister, but then she decided she didn't want to stitch anymore, so I've also kind of lost motivation to work on it for that reason, but I might eventually continue working on it. But yeah, this is 2/1 full cross. So this next project was a freebie from Joyful Expressions. This is, his name is Jesus. Man, that fabric is so see-through. So this is a I guess, a sort of sampler. It's just the different names of Jesus. And these are not the called for colors or fabric. I decided I wanted it to be on a royal purple and do everything in gold. And this is, I believe, a 28 count linen that I got from 123 Stitch. And I am doing this 2/2 on that. But anyway, I started this project because I thought it would be quick and it was a free project and I thought it would be fun to play with colors. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see, but I did make one of the colors, one of those satin colors from the DMC line. It doesn't look that bad in the camera, but the satin thread is so not fun to work with, which is very unfortunate. Because it looks okay, honestly, but it's really not worth it, and it's really making it difficult for me to finish this project. I was going to finish it and give it to my pastor for Pastor Appreciation Day, but man, it's so not fun to work on. I almost want to, I don't even want to restart it really, because I've put so much work into it and it's not even that interesting to stitch. Also, the fabric is kind of driving me crazy because it's not easy to see because it's a darker fabric, and I didn't think about that when I started this project. So I also learned I don't like stitching 2/2 very much. So, or stitching on linen for that matter. So a combination of bad decisions just made this really not pleasant to work on, which is really unfortunate. So I don't know. I might stop working on this, but we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind at some point. Here is my other large full coverage piece, and I'm super proud of this one. This is probably one of my favorite projects that I have on the go right now. It has been for a while, but this is the Possibilities Evolution Rainbow Max Colors by Alyssa Gerwig, or Walking Melons. And this is another Heaven and Earth Designs chart. You can actually see everything that I've done so far, which is super cool. This is what it looks like, or should look like, when it's done. I'm stitching this on 25 count easy count Lugana. This is my first foray into easy count and I love it so much. It's fantastic and I will never grid by myself again. But yeah, basically, and this is also my first project that I've stitched on the diagonal, which I don't love for every project, but for this project, I do really enjoy. It's very satisfying to work on. And yeah, I'm in love with this project. It's my pride and joy, and I love seeing other people work on it, and I don't know why I don't work on it more than I do, because it's great and I love it, and it's so colorful and fun to stitch, and it's just so satisfying. I literally have never played Pokemon. I don't care about Pokemon, like, at all. I'm so sorry if you do, but I really only picked this because of the colors, and I regret nothing. It's so fun to work on. But yeah, this is one of my favorite projects. It is massive, and it will take me like a decade to finish, especially at the rate that I'm going. Probably longer than that. This is going to take me a very long time to complete. But I'm going to love every bit of it, so that's okay with me. I really don't mind. Here, let me give you another close-up. Like, look at that color. It's so satisfying. I'm stitching this full cross 1/1, by the way, if I didn't say that already. And I really find that I like that for full coverage. It's really good coverage. I really enjoy 1/1, 25 count. I forgot about this one. I actually have another full coverage to show you. This one is not Heaven and Earth Designs. I believe it's the only, yeah, I think it's the only full coverage chart I currently have that is not Heaven and Earth Designs, but I don't have as much progress done on this as I would like to. I'm still on the first page. This is smaller than either of the first two I showed. That's my cat, sorry about that. But this is I don't know if this project has a specific title. I just call it Majora's Mask because that's what it is a picture of. And I'll show that in the corner while I'm getting this ready. But yeah, this is what I have so far. I don't know if you can see that. This is just the bottom left corner. Is that right? Not bottom left, I'm sorry, bottom right. This is the bottom right corner of the image. It doesn't look like all that much yet, but yeah. This is another 25 count, easy count Lugana. I started out stitching this 1/1 full cross right about here. And I found that I did not like it for this project. I can't remember why. I think I was trying to stitch it in hand for a while and it wasn't working out that great for me. So I switched to 2/1 tent for most of this page, and I don't think you can actually tell. Can you tell? You can maybe in some parts, like where there's single stitches, but I feel like it's really not that noticeable that I've changed at all. But I don't 100% love the coverage on 25 count 2/1 tent, but it's passable enough and it's easier and faster, so I have just kind of been going with it. I think I'll be satisfied enough with it. This is by Pixels and Bits on Etsy. I think that this is still available, at least time of this recording. But I'm not sure if I would recommend this chart, just because you can probably tell some of the colors are a little bit off to me. Like, I feel like they were probably run through some sort of AI, to be honest with you, and I didn't know anything about that at the time that I bought this chart. So if I had known, I probably would have passed on this, but this was primarily a gift from my boyfriend, so I'm gonna still finish it. But anyway, I would like to be farther along on this than I am, but I am not quite there yet. But this, I think, is my only tent stitch project, and so far I do like it. It's just not quite as satisfying as full cross. Next, we have a favorite that I think a lot of FlossTubers are familiar with. This is outside of my normal comfort zone a little bit, but this is Little Brown Bat by, who is this by? Cottage Garden Samplings. I just got this chart on 1-2-3 stitch. I've had a thing with bats ever since I was really little. I really love them. And this chart, out of all of the series, this is a series of charts, but this is the one that called out to me the most. This is also 25 count, 1/1 full cross. This is going to be probably a gift for my father for Christmas if I can finish it this year. I would love to finish it this year, because it's really not even that big compared to some of my other projects, and I am quite a bit of the way through. I just need to finish filling in a lot of the bat still, and Obviously there's like a few leaves in the house that's below that I need to do, but I really don't think, like if I really sat down and worked on this, I really don't think it would take that long to do. I just need to actually like focus on it and do it. But yeah. So that's Little Brown Bat is another one of my favorites. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love it still so much. This is Heart Sampler by Bad Vibes Only Shop on Etsy. This is stitched 2/2 on 36 count, which equates to about 18 count, 1/1, I believe. And I am enjoying, this is similar linen to what I was working on for His Name is Jesus, but for some reason, this count of fabric, and I think the fact that it's a lighter color, is way more satisfying to stitch on than that piece is. So I'm just having a lot of fun working on this. There's not very many colors, and there's always something interesting and new happening in the image. It's very addictive whenever I do get this project out to work on it. I don't know why I don't do it more often, but I flew through this first page, backstitch and everything. Can you see that? Can you see the little heart? The little backstitch heart. It's so cute. But yeah, I flew through this first page when I first started it, and I've kind of stopped working on it so much, and I really need to get back to it because I really love this piece. And oh yeah, I should show you my needle minder for this. Can you see that? I don't know if you can I get an angle where you can see it where it's not reflective? It says as you stitch. It's a Princess Bride reference. I love it. This was a gift from my boyfriend. It's so cute. I love it so much. But anyway, I really love this piece, and I definitely need to work more on it, as I do with most of these projects. So that is actually all of my projects. Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to showing you my charts and some of my planned projects. Sorry, I had to put my cats up. They were driving me crazy. So I'm just going to go through my charts. I'm going to show you what I have on Pattern Keeper on my Kindle. So probably my next full coverage piece that I'm going to start is this one. This is Little Red Riding Hood Max Colors by Anya Kai. Something about this I just really love. It's just really striking to me. And I don't, how big is this? 400 by 551. So this is fairly large, and I feel like this is going to have a similar issue to what I have with Cherry Blossom Breezes right now. Because there's so much gray. And I feel like I'm going to get into a bit of a slog, so I have not started this yet, but I feel like once I do, it's going to look beautiful. But I haven't started it yet. I do have the fabric for it that I want to use. It is right here. So I know I said I wasn't, let me get it out of the package. So I know I said I wasn't going to grid by myself anymore, but I really wanted to try this Joblin. Oh, I'm holding this upside down. I don't know if you can see that. I really want to try to use this Joblin. It's, what is it called? This is a 28 count Water Lily Joblin from 123 Stitch. I don't know if, is that true to color? I feel like it's being washed out a little bit. It's got almost like a greenish tinge to it, like a greenish gray. in real life. But the reason I wanted to do it on this is because I thought that doing it on easy count, which is just the white, would get really dull and that it would get lost maybe in some parts that are more pale. Like as you can see in the middle of the image there, that's pretty much pure white, and I really didn't want to stitch white on white, so I opted to get a colored fabric instead. And unfortunately they don't make the easy count in other colors, so I am probably going to stitch this, since that was a 28 count. I think I'm going to stitch it either 2/110 or 1/1 full cross. I haven't decided, but that's what that one is. So whichever one I choose, that's probably going to be the next one I start, most likely. This next one is called Spirit of Autumn by, is it Shiro Marchetti? I actually am not sure how you pronounce his name, but I love this image. I love foxes and I love fall, and there's something about the colors of this that are just very attractive to me. I thought I would probably stitch this on 28 count maybe, or I probably will do this one in 10 stitch, most likely, whenever I do start it. But I don't have anything kitted up for it. I just have the chart. And I also think this one's absolutely beautiful. Oh, look at that. This is Fall Dragon by Walking Melons, or Alyssa Gerwig. And the colors of this are stunning. I am in love. It's so beautiful. I am such a sucker for this orange and blue combination. I don't know what it is. Anytime I see this color combination, I want it. And I also really love dragons, as I've stated before. I am trying to hold back from starting this one because I already have Cherry Blossom Breezes that I'm working on, so I don't want to start it right now, but I cannot wait. This is also very big. 525 by 656. Yeah, that's very big. So I have not started this yet, but I would love to start it someday. It's high on my list that I want to start it. This is Haunted House by Donna Gelsinger. I'm really not a Donna Gelsinger fan most of the time, but this one, I'm obsessed. I love it. It is enormous. 625 by 833. That's so large. And it's very detailed, but I do have the regular version of this, not the max color. I didn't see that much of a difference to make it worth it, but I would love to start this, but I have been holding off because it is a seasonal chart and it's so big. But I would really love to stitch on it. I know there was a period where everybody was stitching it, everybody and their mother was stitching it, and I still really want to, but not yet. I'm trying to be patient. Harvest Cornucopia by Donna Gelsinger, which I also am just in love with the colors of. Like, those fruits just look so juicy. I just love them, and I can't wait to stitch them. I don't think that the trees and the hay down here are going to be very fun to stitch because they're probably going to be very confetti heavy, but it's just so pretty. This is also quite large, and it's also seasonal, but I just couldn't help myself. Sometimes the colors just are too pretty and I have to have it. Even if I never finish it, I just love it. It just makes me happy. Kakomu by Margaret Morales. Like, tell me that isn't absolutely beautiful. Look at it. It's gorgeous, and I love it. And it's also quite big. But it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Look at it. Look at her. Look at her face. I love that. It also, with the koi fish, feels a little bit Japanese inspired to me, and that makes me love it even more. So, I don't know. I will probably stitch this at some point. I have not got anything kitted up for it, but I would love to start it. This is Christmas Lodge by Dominic Davison. This is also enormous and very detailed. I don't know if you can see all the detail on that, but this is one of the, I think I only have 2 Christmas charts, and this is one of them, and it's very, very big. And I have not worked up the courage to start it yet. Probably won't for a while, but I think it would be really fun to work on during the Christmas season, so I will probably start it at some point. I also have It's About Time, the lighter version by Shiro Marchetti. So again, so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I wasn't going to buy this chart, but I kept seeing it pop up, and it just looks so beautiful being stitched that I could not help myself. I also had to buy it. Even though this isn't top of my priority list to stitch, I still really love it. This is Forsaken by Adele Sessler. This is another one that I think will have the same problem where I might get bored because it's so much of one color, but I don't have anything else that's this heavy on green. So maybe I'll stitch it at some point if I'm just really in the mood to stitch in green for some reason. But I just really like her. I think she's pretty, and I really like the vibe of this piece. Here's my other Christmas chart. This one's a bit smaller. It's called Quick Stitch, The Falling Snow. And I guess compared to some other designs, it is a quick stitch. It is 300 by 348, which compared to some of the ones I've shown you is fairly small, but I think it is still about as big as Cherry Blossom Breezes is. So it's still not small. It's still rather large, but it's a little bit less commitment than Christmas Lodge, so I don't know, maybe I'll do this one first. But I would have to find a piece of fabric that I can avoid stitching white on white, so I don't know. I think that's all the charts I have to show you on Pattern Keeper. There's 3 others. I'm gonna have to edit in what those look like, but the first is Dark Queen of the Sea by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I have the chart for this. I also have the different hair colors expansion pack, I believe it is. My idea with this piece was to make it look sort of like one of my original characters, because I do have a aquatic themed character, and I kind of, when I saw this piece, I really liked it, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just stitch it to look like her. And then Dark Queen of the Earth came out, and I said to myself, oh, well, I'm going to start that one first because this other Dark Queen of the Sea stitch along is already over. And I really liked that one, so let me just jump in on the Dark Queen of the Earth stitch along and work on that first and have the experience of stitching it along with everybody else. So that didn't work out. I quickly fell behind. Did not like Dark Queen of the Earth as much, which is very sad because I really love Dark Queen of the Sea. I love the design of that one so much more. But I'm now in this position where I feel like I have to finish Dark Queen of the Earth before I can start Dark Queen of the Sea. So, I don't know. I don't know when I'll start it, but it is on my list that I would like to at some point. I just haven't done it yet. And I do not have anything kitted up for it. I haven't had anything kitted up for most of these, except for Little Red Riding Hood, where I showed you the fabric. So far, none of these have been kitted up. And then I have 2 more. So the other 2 are Owl Forest embroidery charts, which I do have the threads for, and I did actually get the threads directly from Owl Forest embroidery, which I honestly don't know if I would recommend. They are rather expensive for what they are. But I really wanted the same look that the image showed. So I did get the same exact threads, and I did not substitute the DMC, so because I really just wanted the variegation. So this is what the first one looks like. This is Garden Carp. Let me get the threads out that I have for these. So I have not really opened this, but this is the thread pack that I bought for Garden Carps. And I don't know if these are showing true to color. They might be a little bit washed out, but it's like a very bright orangey red. And then this color is kind of like a blush pink and a sandy beige color mixed together. And we've got a couple different greens, a brown grayish color, like a darker gray, and these white. And I haven't decided how I want to stitch it. I bought enough thread that I could stitch it 2/2 on 28 count, but I don't know that I'll actually do that. I will probably stitch it at a smaller count just because I don't enjoy 28 count 2/2 very much. I would just rather stitch on 14 count if I'm going to stitch the stitches that big, because I'm just not a fan of 2/2 really. So most likely I will probably stitch this. If I do stitch it on 28 count, I'll probably stitch it 1/1. But then again, I don't know if the variation will show. The variegation will show as well if I do stitch it that small. So I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts, let me know what you think I should do, because I have not decided yet. But I probably won't stitch that one next. Probably of the two that I have, I'm probably going to stitch this one, Two Dragons, which I think came out this year. And as I have established, I am definitely a fan of dragons, and I really like the colors. And I also have the threads for this one. And I just think these are a lot more interesting to me. We've got, I don't know, these are probably not showing up as vibrant in person either, but also like a really bright orange red. It's like kind of emerald green mixed with a leaf green, kind of. I don't think you can see that part, but there's like a leaf green running through that. It's like kind of darker multi-toned grays, the white, this like pretty almost goldenrod orange. No, not goldenrod orange, it's goldenrod yellow up here. And then this is like a vivid, like blood red mixed with scarlet color. So I really like this, and I would really like to stitch this. I haven't decided. I have the same issue with this one where I haven't decided what count and fabric I want to stitch it on, but I do want it to look similar to the image, so I'll probably get a similar fabric and then I'll just decide from there. But yeah. And there we have it. Those are all the projects that I have to show that are either finished, in progress, or that I just have and would like to start. That I know it's not as much as some cross-stitchers maybe have, but to me this is plenty given the knowledge that I have so many other hobbies as well that I'm also trying to work on. And I'm also into knitting, so I have knitting projects that I'm probably not going to show here, but I have those that I have to work on. I've got lots of other things going on, so I really don't have the space or the time to have more projects at the moment, much as I would like to, but maybe another time. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you were at all interested in updates on any of these projects, feel free to subscribe. Hate asking for that this early because there's really not that much on my channel yet, so yeah, but if you are interested, I will be posting updates on these projects as I have things to show, so let me know what your favorite project was and what you'd like to see me work on more, and if you're also a stitcher, let me know what you're working on, because I love to know. If you have your own channel, I would love to know. I'm going to link some of my favorite stitchers in the description below, some of the ones that I've watched, which if you are watching this video, you've probably seen a lot of them, but if not, some of them are, I guess, a little bit smaller. So I did want to shout out specifically, I believe her name is Kaida Stitches. You probably don't know this, but we have spoken in the comments of your videos before. I mentioned in one of your earlier videos, I think, that I also had a fruits basket project, and I just showed it to you. This is me. Hi. So, yeah, I wanted to shout you out specifically because I know we have similar taste in some things. So I wanted you to see that. So yeah. I've also, let's see, who else? I would also really like to shout out Cross Stitch and Chill. Specifically, she is, I feel like, a pretty underrated floss tuber. I really love her channel. I don't think she posts as regularly as she used to, but I love all of her full coverage pieces, and she is definitely a big inspiration to me as to the kind of projects that I like to do. So wanted to shout her out. Also want to shout out Adventures of Stitching Alicia. I'm so sorry. I really like her channel as well. She's, I think, still a smaller YouTuber. Forgive me if that's not true any longer. Forgive me on all of these. I want to just kind of shout out people that I feel like might need it. I don't, as if I'm actually going to be doing any good, but I mean, you know, you never know. At least if nothing else, then maybe we can be friends. But yeah, and I have other channels, like I said, in the description below that I've also watched and really enjoy. But yeah, I just wanted to shout those people out specifically, since I really enjoy their content and I feel like they are underrated. So yeah. Anyway, until the next video, if you have any interest in books, feel free to check out my other video that should be up on the channel by now. It is my first BookTube video where I talk about, where I do the BookTube newbie tag and talk about what kind of my plans for the channel as far as BookTube goes, since this is going to be kind of a combination channel. So if you haven't looked at that already, I'm going to link that in the description as well, so feel free to go check that out. My next video is mostly going to be centered around anime, and it will be more in a video essay style format, most likely. I haven't 100% decided on the details yet, and I'm still kind of working on that, but it will definitely be more focused on anime. So if you love Fruits Basket, and you want to talk more about it, or if you were just curious about any of that stuff, if you're an anime fan, that is the next video I will be releasing. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe, because it will probably come out, I'm hoping, within a few weeks from this video. I can't promise any sooner than that, just because I'm working a full-time job and it's going to be hard to get out back-to-back videos that quickly, but especially with the style of content that I'm wanting to make for this next video, because it's going to be more edit heavy. But anyway, you don't care about that. If you're interested in anime, that's going to be coming out, so just so you're aware. Anyway, until next time, have a wonderful until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to take time to do something that you love.